being a UK-based academic, it's very difficult to argue populism is a marginal phenomenon, right? Because I mean, the UK is very firmly in the grip of populists at the moment, as I'm sure you're aware. And therefore, populism has crept in from the fringes and is occupying, the center space now in many countries. And indeed, the countries we're studying, including Poland and Hungary, are arguably governed by populists and have been governed by populists for several years now. So I would definitely say it's very much a mainstream phenomenon nowadays. Maybe starting with a neoliberal, it's the term I like least of the three in a sense, because I think it obscures more than it reveals, in the sense that people start calling everything that is like neoliberal if they are sort of on the left wing of the political spectrum. People on the right wing tend to not use the term. And I don't think it's a very precise term, in the sense that what the original neoliberal movement was trying to achieve was not what we are getting now since the 1980s or so. I think a much better term would be market fundamentalism, that doesn't accord any place or any space for the state in an economy. Illiberalism is the term that was coined by Viktor Orban himself, who presented it as an alternative to the Western model of liberal democracy. And he owned this term, and it's come to mean something very conservative, also very anti-market in some respects, not in every respect, and sort of as an alternative to the Western liberal democratic model, oftentimes very much, based on a very majoritarian understanding of democracy, in the sense that, it's the very few protections for individual rights, for instance, right, which is core, obviously, the democratic understanding. The third term, non-liberal, I took that from Wolfgang Streeck, who, in a sense, described the German business system, the German economic model, and the Japanese one, for instance, so the continental European one, as non-liberal, in the sense that it puts constraints on market forces, right? And so to me, it was an interesting way of, coming back to this debate about unfettered markets versus markets that are being embedded in some sort of constraints. I think, the evidence is quite clear that economic factors have played a major role in, the rise of populism. And so there's this debate between cultural explanations of populism and economic explanations. Conversely, that there is economists, especially, of course, show evidence that, in the UK or in the US, for instance, the vote for Donald Trump or the vote for Brexit can be explained quite well with factors such as the impact of austerity policies after the financial crisis, the impact of deindustrialization, and these sort of factors on people's livelihoods. I'm a political economist, and so are many of my colleagues in the project. To us, the economic factors are absolutely essential to understand populism. So it's definitely, I would not agree with the thesis that this is all just made up in terms of, it's just fear about immigration or, a backlash against feminism or whatnot, right? It is definitely rooted in economic problems.